Oh my god, I'm so angry right now. I'm so angry I've actually decided to re-resurrect my dead YouTube channel to rant about what has made me so angry. Cue the new intro! Welcome to RPG Fortress, your new #1 resource for all things role-playing. Yeah, this is like the third time I've rebranded this channel, but oh well. You come here for RPGs, so that's what we're focusing on from now on. But we'll still have 1-minute reviews as well. Camelot Software Planning. Love 'em, you know it. Shining in the Darkness, Shining Force, Golden Sun, some of my favorite games ever. The amount of time I have dumped into Shining Force and Shining Force 2 alone is just incredible. Must have played through them both a dozen times each. Just last year I played through Shining Force 2, Shining Force Gaiden, Shining Force Gaiden 2, Shining Force Gaiden 3, and Shining Force CD all back to back. It's 2022 and I still love these games. Shining Force was the game that made me want to get a Sega Genesis over a Super Nintendo when I was a grubby 11-year-old idiot in the first place. I played the heck out of that game. I woke up early before school and played it for 2 hours. I played it when I got home from school. I played it on my days off. I absolutely loved it. I wanted to spread it on a sandwich with peanut butter and eat it. It started my obsession with SRPGs. I loved RPGs, but the strategy element was something I needed more of. Anyway, knock knock, it's the PlayStation and big new games are here. Final Fantasy VII's on the way and will usher in the golden age of console RPGs. But before that, the creators of the Shining games, originally Sega CD4, then Sonic Software Planning, and finally Camelot Software Planning, want to release a game on Sony's brand new system. It couldn't be a Shining game because those belong to Sega, and it couldn't be a Mario Golf or tennis game because those games weren't invented yet, and they would only be available on Nintendo systems, so they had to create their own IP, and Beyond the Beyond was born. Critical reception for the game was not particularly positive. Most of the outlets of the era, EGM, Famitsu, IGN, Next Gen, gave the game scores that ranged between mediocre to terrible. And the game definitely hits those marks, it's just not very good. The game keeps erecting these barriers in front of me and I'm getting bored trying to get past them. The game's got random battles and they are very frequent. On top of this, they don't give you a lot of money or experience, so you feel like you need to grind, but other than a few spots, grinding is pretty useless. You grind and you might gain a level or two. And you're constantly fighting battles, but the payoff is just not good enough. New gear, when a town actually has something new, is super expensive and the stat increases are minimal. So you grind and grind for levels, and you barely get enough experience for the levels. And the money you grind for might be enough to get new gear, but that gear is also barely worth it. So you feel like you should just be moving forward, and then you get into a big dungeon and you struggle all the way through it. You stop and grind, but grinding is not worth it, so you push forward, but you're not strong enough. It's like any path you take is the wrong one. Speaking of moving forward, the story barely exists. There are bad guys and there are good guys. Hundreds of years ago, they signed a peace treaty, but now the bad guys are back. And I mean, lots of RPGs have bare bone plots. The first Dragon Warrior is literally, there's a bad dragon, go get him. But the problem with the story in Beyond the Beyond is that there is non-stop dialogue, and it's also incredibly dragged out and repetitive. Let's go to the cave ends up being a 5-minute discussion, and it's not well written, it's just constant word salad. The music is fucking incredible. It's done by prog wizard Motoi Sakuraba and is indicative of his standard widdly prog rock output. There are loads of tracks and they're all composed incredibly. The only complaint I have is barely a complaint. Despite the fact it's a CD game, there's no Red Book audio. All of the music is done with MIDI, which is fine. I love MIDI music, and this is an early PS1 game, so it's fine. That's fine. Despite all of this, I have pushed on through to the halfway point of the game, where I got fucked. My current quest was to retrieve some item to complete a long and intricate fetch quest. It was the Vase of Life, and to get there I had to travel across the world map, go through a dungeon called the Mist Valley, which was full of traps, travel more of the map, climb up a tower called Gaia Shrine, which also has an incredible amount of traps, then you fight a boss. Weird side note, this is the first boss in the game. And yes, I said I am halfway through the game. And yes, I said this is the first boss you fight. Seriously, the game's pacing is absolutely intolerable. So I kill the dragon, have a dialogue with an NPC about the Vase of Life, and head back to the place I need to bring the vase to. I warp out of the dungeon, head across the map, backtrack through Mist Valley and all of its traps, travel more of the map, and then into the tower where I need to use the vase. I search the spot where the vase is meant to be used. Nothing. Try it again. Nothing. Manually go into my inventory to use it. Can't find it. Come on, where is it? I go all the way through all of my characters' inventories and it's not there. And it's not in the important item tab either, so where is it? Turns out, after you finish the discussion with the NPC at the top of the Gaia Shrine, you're meant to search the tile next to him to pick up the vase. I mean, that kinda sucks, but I guess it's on me. I'll go back to get it. I'll just have to travel across the map, through Mist Valley and its traps, across more of the map, back up the shrine, all 8 floors with all of its traps. It's only about an hour to get back there, and then when I get the vase, I need to travel back, which is also about an hour. A game needs pacing. This is not pacing. This is bloated backtracking. I'll take the hit on missing the vase. Sure, you're not supposed to miss the vase, and if I didn't, I wouldn't have to backtrack, but I did, and the punishment was hours needed to get back to where I needed to go. Just like grinding, the backtracking in this game does not respect your time. Spend 2 hours grinding and your reward is negligible. Spend 2 hours backtracking and your reward is to simply continue the story. Beyond the Beyond is an absolute time sink of a game. It feels like every second in this game is a reminder that you could be doing anything else. Playing a better game, reading a good book, petting a cute cat, eating a nice slice of pizza, or touching some grass. I don't know if I want to go back to Beyond the Beyond. Camelot's just way off the mark on this one. I wanted to give it a shot, and I think struggling to the halfway point might be all that I can handle. Especially with another Camelot game I never finished in my radar. So what did you think of Beyond the Beyond? Did you ever play it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Leave a comment below and we'll discuss it. Also, this is the first video that we've done since rebranding, so if you like the video and the direction, do all that normal YouTube stuff. Give us a like, subscribe, hit the bell, or don't. It's a free world, and your personal autonomy is much more important than my own minimal social media clout. Until next time, I've been Richard for RPG Fortress. Bye-bye.